Alright, Galaxy Gas. Let's talk about it. Real quick. Before anything, really, I was listening to the old MGK and Eminem, like, beef battle thing, whatever, and I saw a comment that said, imagine being MGK's daughter and playing the diss song every time that you're mad at him. And I just thought that was really funny. So, anyways, um, thank you for coming to my page if it's your first time. Um, if you're returning, then thank you for returning. I appreciate it. And if you could please subscribe to the channel, it would really be helpful. Doesn't lead to any monetary or financial gain. I just want to spread my story. So, anyways, with all that said and done, let's talk about this atom bomb of galaxy gas, cooking gas, right? Or whatever. So, first of all, the funny thing is I can imagine that like kids and people like of more like closer of a more recent of a generation are like, oh my gosh, flavored nos, what? Like, but in reality, like, they've been doing that shit. Like, it wasn't maybe advertised on social media and Instagram and everything, but like, if you had a tank, which was like a legit tank, like, I know that this tank looks big, and I forget how big it actually is, but like, there are tanks that are 5, 10 times the size of that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there was always spots that you could find that they would fill your tank up for you, and they knew that it wasn't for a car. Like, I went to jail for a NOS tank, so I'm a little versed in it. But even before I went to jail for it, that's what we were doing. Like, we got our hands on a NOS tank. I think we had a 9 or a 10 pounder, if that's the correct terminology. It was huge. It was really big. And we would go and we would take it to an auto shop and they would fill it up. But there were certain auto shops I can remember getting like watermelon flavor. I can remember getting bubblegum flavor. Like they had a little like chalkboard, whiteboard type thing, and it would have flavors on it, and it costed more. But like they know what they were doing. Like they're probably still doing that shit to this day. I don't know, but like, and the wild thing is, and I'm not proud to admit this or anything, but like, seeing people with these things, like, of course, like especially like if you see how tiny this one is, like, you could easily like. I'm not promoting this, but driving in a car and just like all you got to do is twist this knob thing. Like you could probably do it with your mouth and not even have to like do it. So it's very accessible. This one was vanilla cupcake flavor, and uh, what was this one? I think this one was strawberries and cream or some shit like that. Yeah, strawberry cream. So like when we would fill our tanks up, I never did this, but there was plenty of times where if we were driving back from filling up the tank, like whoever sometimes someone would be driving and they would have literally the tank in between their legs and they would be hitting the tank from the actual tank, like no balloons or anything, and they would just be hitting that shit at like a red light. Like it's a miracle that we even survived like all of those trips, to be honest with you. A lot of times we would just go, we'd fill it up and go like across the street, and then we would just like get down on it. But I forget how much it costed, but like, everybody would throw down and we would find enough where, you know, when you do it by balloons, it's very easy to make profit. Like when you're just like charging $5 or $10 for a couple balloons or however many, like you make your money back very fast compared to how much you have to pay to get it filled up. So, anyways, I'll bring you to very recent, let's say like around this time last year, maybe a little bit later, but very similar for like, first of the year, second month of the year, something like that. So I'm at home. I have a broken foot and I have a broken wrist from my car accident, and my car is totaled. So I can barely walk and go to the bathroom. All right. And I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling, whatever. And all of a sudden, like, I see, like, and it wasn't from seeing other people having it, it wasn't from, like, anything else. I got an actual ad on my Instagram feed, and it was like, Galaxy Gas, the new flavored blah 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 blah. Like, and I kind of was like, what? And I checked it out, and when I looked on the website, sure enough, like, it was talking about how, like, it came with like everything. Because if you've done Whippets before, then you would know that, like, you got to buy the cartridges of Whippets, and then you got to buy the little like cream thing that you load the cartridge into. So it's not all like this thing. You just put it out of the box, put the top on, and you're ready to go. With the Whippets, and with that process, there was kind of like multiple parts to it, if you will. Not like there was a bunch of parts, but still, it wasn't just like, yo, have a rip. So when I was on there, I had some like extra funds or whatever, so I start checking it out, and then I see that for this, oh shit, I can barely pick this shit up. This one and this one, it costed me $98. So, like, with tax and everything. So, for less than $100, I got those two things, and I got them shipped directly to my front door, which they came directly to my front door within, I don't know, maybe 3 days, 2, 3 days, or something like that. So, it was very quick, and it was just like almost unbelievably easy. Like, I really did not, like, I was kind of in shock in a way, just because, from what I just told you of, like, being around and kind of seeing how it went down, and like it's so much different than how it used to be. And like, just the way, like, I get what, like, when they say like targeting tobacco flavor is like for kids and stuff or whatever, and like vapes and all that stuff with the different kinds of flavors, and especially with this stuff like the gas. Like, it's one thing when people are abusing it, where like you could, I think, if make like whipped cream type stuff. I don't know. Maybe you can do it with this too, and people just don't read the directions. I don't know, but at least the one where you have to press the thing down and load the cartridge, I'm pretty sure that if you had the like whipped cream, that would be able to like do something for something. With this, I think it's just flavored air. Like, I don't think there's anything that like can be used. I think on the website they show you all this stuff that you could use to like make it flavored whipped cream, but nobody's gonna do that shit. Like, let's be real. So, anyways, like, like now seeing it, like everybody's talking about it. There's videos of people, hitting it driving, and going into stores, restaurants, whatever, and just being like super disrespectful with it. Just like literally, just like putting it in their jacket pocket. Like, that's wild. Like, that's wild to me. Not to say I'm a saint. I got my hands on some too, but that was before it was like making the news and shit like that. Not to say that that makes me better than anyone else, but like, I kind of saw it and was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. But then now, like, I've heard stories of girls that there was a girl that she was paralyzed for a bit, and like there are people that are hooked on these things that are just spending money. And like, I do go to the smoke shop from time to time because I can't drive, but luckily there's a smoke shop very close to my house. And I've noticed, like, there's like a whole section for these things of all different kinds of brands, and they're all different kinds of flavors, and it's just like whatever law they're exploiting, or whatever thing they saw where they're like, you can't sell this gas, but you can, that doesn't mean you can't sell this other one that's basically the same, you know? Because even when I got arrested for it, when my homie got the charge, it wasn't even like for possession of NOS. It said possession of gas similar to two lean or two lane or something like that. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some weird loophole, just like how fentanyl gets here and the analogs and the all that stuff, and like the molecules that are like a little bit off, so it's not technically illegal, but it's damn near the same thing. Wouldn't surprise me if all at all if that's the way that they're getting down. So I'm glad that it's at least made some attention, and I hope people can stop, because I remember back in the day when we had the tank, it was kind of like a thing that people were like, kind of looked at you crazy if you hit it straight from the tank, because if you hit it straight from the tank, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this was a rumor or what, but I'm pretty sure it can freeze your lungs if something happens. Don't quote me on that, but I know that a lot of people are not using balloons for it. Not that that makes it safer by any means. Don't do this shit at all. But when people are hitting it straight from the tank, like, it's, I feel like it's more dangerous and it's easier for it to like fuck up your insides or whatever. But I'm not a doctor. I'm the last person that should be giving medical advice on anything, but that's just the way that I feel about it and my experience. It wasn't anything that I got addicted to. Like, literally, like, I ordered it one time, and then when it was done, it was done. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I need to get more. Like, it was fine. And seeing all the articles and news and the way that, like, it's being abused and all that stuff, like, I really hope that that stops, because I don't like to see that happening. Like, because this stuff does, like, fuck with your brain, and it really does. Like you can almost feel it killing your brain cells, like, straight up. And it's just something that's not cool. I even actually blacked out on them one time, and that was the actual whippets, not these things. But like, I was doing them, and then all of a sudden, everything went black, and I could hear people calling my name, like, Stork, Stork, Stork. But I like was like out comatose on the couch, and then like all of a sudden, like, I came to. Like, it was probably like a Steve-O type moment, to be real with you. Um, but like, I just remember, like, that shit was scary, dude. Like, I didn't think that that was something that could happen to me with NOS, or with like the cartridges or whatever, but it did happen. So it doesn't surprise me that this is having some neurological effects on people who are like sucking this shit down like it's air, because it's not, and you shouldn't be. So I really hope that this is a trend, like smoking Tide Pods or whatever, that just like goes away and it's like done with or whatever. But if there's money to be made, like, it doesn't matter how much blood is in the streets, man. America does not care. If they're making money hand over fist on this shit, they're gonna do it until they tell them to stop, and then they're probably gonna pick up and go do it somewhere else until they tell them to stop. So I don't know. I'm just, I guess, hoping against hope that it'll stop, because I don't like it and I don't like to see it. Everybody should just smoke weed and be a lot happier. Or if you don't, I'm not pressuring you to smoke weed even. Just live your life, but don't do stupid shit like this. Maybe don't smoke weed if that's not your thing and you think that's stupid or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to, like, tell anybody what to do, but that gas shit is not the answer. Nothing. Galaxy gas, I don't care if they call it knowledge gas or IQ raising gas. I don't care what they call it. That shit is not good for anybody. So, that's my spiel. And yeah, I think I'll throw another video up later on today or whatever, but I felt like doing this one. I wasn't even planning on doing this, honestly, but I just figured, what the hell. So, Anyways, if anyone's still watching, if you could please subscribe, I would appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a nice weekend. Peace.